Hey, thanks for clicking on this video. Before we get started, a small disclaimer. This was recorded before my 4K upgrade. While editing this video, I went back and forth on whether I should publish it because the quality doesn't quite match the standard of my newer videos. But since I love this game and I wanted to complete the series, I decided to share it anyway. Because this was filmed on my older setup, I won't be doing any zooms in this one. The next Aeon's End series will be recorded with my new 4K setup. Alright, let's jump into the video. Hey everyone, this is Attackers and welcome to the last battle in the expedition for Aeon's End, The Descent. The first three videos have already been published and now that's the last one, right? So that's the grand finale of this iteration of Aeon's End. So looking forward to doing so. So before we get started, grab yourself a cup of tea and let's do this. Yeah, again, it's a little bit too hot, but I will have a little bit more later on. Alright, so you see that everything is still set up from the last game. As usual, what I will do is we will just read the intro to Battle 4. Then we will take a look at the new stuff that we unlocked. And then I will just sleeve and set up the game for today. And then we will play. I will have timestamps in the description below, just in case there are specific sections you're looking forward to the most. Alright, so let's start with the story here. Intro to Battle 4. Brahma, what just happened? Brahma keeps her head down as she pushes through the group gathered behind the gates. He will catch her arm and she shakes them off, ignoring their questions, continuing to move. Where's Thraxir? Lysan demands. Where is my cousin? We have to go back out there for him, Delana begs. Brahma, please. Brahma, you can't just... Quiet. The clamoring crowd falls into a stunned silence at Brahma's sharp voice. She stands at the front of them, back straight, eyes stormy. I am your leader. I brought you to this place. I swore to protect you. And I will. Brahma sweeps her gaze across the crowd. Her people stand silent and expectantly before her, eyes wide. Elderly and children. Powerless babes and those with no magic to defend them. Her burgeoning civilization right now nothing more than a huddled mass hiding together from what's out in the darkness. Thraxir is dead. Brahma silences the rush of murmurs with a single movement of her hand. He bought us time to get inside the city, but the vulnerable among us will never be safe until the monster outside our gates is gone. We're down one of our best fighters, Brahma, Janti says, stepping forward. Her usual confident smile has been wiped away by the grief in her eyes. Perhaps we shouldn't waste the safety his sacrifice earned us. We can rest and recuperate here, form a plan, train more of the men and boys to use the alternative magic in Fawn's books, forge a true army. Janti, you've given me much sage advice throughout my life. You were the first to believe I had the instincts of a leader. It is time for you to trust me now. We don't have time to waste. We are new to the city and we have not investigated its defenses. The beast knows we're in here, and soon it will turn its siege on the Gravehold itself. If the walls are not sturdy, it could destroy them and catch us unprepared. The strong among us must go out now and drive the creature away for the safety of the rest. Perhaps there are allies to be found in the city, Mazahedron suggests, pointing above Brahma to the signal fire lit on the tower above the city. Who has been tending that light? As if on cue, the arcane fire flashes brightly, catching for a moment the silhouette of something almost human dancing around its edge. The figure sends a shiver through Brahma. It is humanoid, but too tall, too thin, and wearing a disfigured mask. The burst of fire sweeps down through the city, rushing toward Brahma and her people. Brahma lifts her hands to shield it, but it moves faster than she can react. She hears screams from behind her and smells singed flesh. Not allies, and no time to lose. Brahma turns on her heel and begins barking orders. Lysan, Raven, Mazahedron, Janti, with me. Delana, get everyone into one of these buildings and stay there. But Delana begins to protest, but Brahma cuts her off. Treat to their burns. They need you. Let me come with you. Brahma looks over to see Adelheim stepping forward from the crowd, his hammer gripped in his hands. He's just a boy, even younger than Brahma, barely coming into his first beard, but you can't argue with the determination in his eyes. That man on the tower may be against us now, but he's not the only one who can use an arcane flame. Brahma nods sharply. Do it. Raven hands her daughter to Myrna as the group rushes off to shelter in one of the old buildings surrounding them. Outside, the Nameless slams its body into the gates hard enough that the stone dust showers upon them. Brahma pulls her group in close and gives instructions in a harsh voice that allows no argument. We lost our best fighter, and that monster is too much for just the 6 of us to handle alone. We may not be able to kill it, but if we can hurl it badly enough, we should be able to convince it to seek its dinner elsewhere. Brahma rests a hand on Janti's shoulder. The best strategy will be to split up. Just a single blow from this creature is devastating, but it doesn't seem very smart. We will surround it and keep alternating who hits it to keep it on its back foot. We will all be distractions for each other. Because being a distraction worked out so well for Thrax here. Janti mumbles with dark humor in her voice. Mazahedron, you are our best long-distance mage and the slowest among us, so you will close the gate behind us and then accompany Adelheim to take care of whatever is on that signal fire. Mazahedron folds his hands together and nods graciously. I have walked on fire and have not been burned. Let's show that beast what happens when you take one of our own, Lysan growls, hosting her battle axe. Brahma nods. For Gravehold. Alright, and that's the last battle. I think I said it last time already. I'm pretty sure who this new enemy is. New old enemy. I think it was called Rageborn, right? The very first enemy in the original Aeon set. That's what I think. Kind of would like close the circle and like with the red scales, it would make sense. Also, I mean, it's like a similar creature on the cover on Aeon's End, right? So I think that's gonna be the boss. So we get envelope 4 and deck 4. So let's look at the envelope first because I really want to see the new mage and also the new enemy. Is the mage just Adelheim as a young boy? That would be interesting. Okay, so we have a few tokens here. Oh, there's more stuff in here. So let's just see. Okay, I think that's it. Alright, let me put that aside here. Alright, so it is the Wrath. It is not the Rageborn, but it looks kind of similar. Okay, we have Foe, the cultist, that's the guy on the watchtower there, and Adelheim is actually the friend. Okay. There is the new mechanism here in this game with friends and foes. I will not play with those today. I played with the friends and foes module in the very first battle video of this series here. But just because of recording reasons, I did not do that for video 2 and 3 and also for this one, right? But if you want to know how this mechanism works, feel free to check out the first video in this series here. And here are the friend and the foe. Very cool. I'll put those aside because I will not play with those. We actually don't have a new mage. Okay, so we will have to check out one of the other ones. The Wrath I have here. It's working with nemesis tokens just like the Rageborn. So these are actually very similar. Alright, and we actually have like a pretty large Wrath track here. For normal difficulty and for increased difficulty, we'll do that the normal one, right? And also we have like this little strike token here. Alright, interesting. Cool, okay. Then let's take a look at the cards that we unlocked right here. Let's open these and see what we get here. I suppose we just get the cards for the nemesis now. And we have the treasure level 3. So we can choose one of those because we finished the 3rd battle. I will just choose one of those and then tell you what it does. Then here we have the cards for Adelheim. Also for Adelheim. Also for Adelheim. Okay, wow, that's a lot there. And then we have the cards for the cultist. And then we should have like all the cards for the Wrath here. And the upgraded basic boss cards. Alright, so that works. So what I will do now is, now I will just set up the game, sleeve all the cards that we need, and then we can get started. Alright, and that is the setup of our game. You see, I have put the track over the image of the Wrath, which is a shame, I know, but this way we have room here for all the cards that the Wrath will throw at us. Alright, so what is new compared to last game? First of all, we have 3 new cards here. We have the Hungry Avi, the Redistributor Relic, and the Spell at Chemical Ignition. I will not talk about them now. I will talk about them if I decide to get them. Then we have a new boss. That is the last one we have in this expedition, the Wrath. It's very similar to the Rageborn, so maybe it's the same enemy, just a different name, and we will see like when the story concludes. This boss only has 6 health, but the way it works is then when we attack, we see like, okay, I did 2 attack, and then we move the strike token 2, and then we resolve the space it lands on. Yellows are good because the Nemesis loses a Nemesis token, white is neutral, red are bad for us. And whenever we hit the 14 here, we do 1 damage, right? So it works a little bit different. It's kind of like as if the Nemesis had like 80 something health, right? Maybe a little bit more, because if we do excess damage here, it doesn't do anything, and then we reset it to 0, and then we do the entire thing again. So very, very interesting, but it like has like all the effects here on the board. So we need to like do specific damage at specific points in time. I don't know if I will be able to time that, but let's see. The next thing is we have Janti now. She has accompanied us through the entire story here of this expedition, right? So I chose to take her because we did not unlock a new mage, actually. 10 health, as usual, and she has like the special ability that she has an infusion deck. I just put this up here, and if we charge her ability and use it during our main phase, we can gain the top card of the infusion deck and place it in our hand immediately. And these are like all cards that we can attach to breaches, and they like modify how these breaches work. Very interesting. Alternatively, if I use this ability, I can also destroy an infusion, like take it out of the game completely and deal 8 damage. Could be very helpful for like if I'm like at like 6 here or something, right? And then I deal just 8 damage in one strike. That would be kind of interesting. From 0 to 8, that would not be that great. But like if I can get to 6 and then, or 6, 7, 8, 9, something like that, and then do the 8 damage, that could actually be very helpful. And then also we still have our treasures 1 and 2, right? The treasure 1 is still the one that I have here that deals 1 more damage if cast from a 3 breach. I have this one here when I focus or open a 3 or 4 breach, deal 1 damage. Only happens twice maximum. But I have the treasure level 3 also, and this one says once per turn during your main phase, you may discard a card in hand. If you do, place an elemental token on any enemy. Enemy is a new term here in Aeon's End the Descent, and means minions as well as the nemesis, right? And the last thing, this is a mage that doesn't have a 1 breach, right? So that's one thing to keep in mind. Alright, that was pretty much the entire setup, and now we can start playing. Alright, so let's see. Alright, my cards here. It's me. So I have 4 of the crystals here. I definitely need to open I need to open some kind of breach. The only breach I can really open is this one here, right? Because with 4, yeah, that's the only one I can open now. So what I could also do is focus this one here, right? And attach the spell. I think that's what I would rather do. So I will focus this breach here and just attach this spell here. What this spell does, I need a little bit more room here, I just see. Let me just go a little bit more to the left here, like this. What I can see, what the spell does here is that it resolves any effects on or attached to the breach in the additional time. Not relevant yet because we don't have any of these infusion cards yet. Alright, that was my turn. So let's just see. If you need a refresher on how the rules work, you can either just watch my video and kind of see how it works, or you watch the first video in this series, or any other Aeon's End series I have on my channel. Alright, so let me deal that damage. I have to do that. Okay, deal 1 damage. That's pretty bad, because then we are here, and now I need to discard a spell in hand. This one here. Okay, that was kind of bad. But with these 4, I can now open this breach. That's great. Oh, by the way, different. I would have focused that last round. Okay, I need to reverse a few things. Give me just a moment, right? Because I did focus that breach, and that means I deal 1 damage here, and then I would have had to discard the redirector spell, right? So I wouldn't have dealt any further damage, and now this round I will open the breach, which deals another damage, and that makes the nemesis lose 1 token, and then I can attach this one. Actually, I also don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Well, actually, I want to do that. That's fine. So that works. Let me just put that all here. Sorry, that was a little bit messed up. I forgot about the treasure level 2, right? What's happening there. So now everything is correct. Wonderful. Sorry about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see whose turn it is. It is our turn again. So I will deal 1 plus 1 damage. That's 2 damage. That's not perfect yet. That means, right, I'm here and I suffer 2 damage. Okay, I kind of need to get... I need to open like more breaches and get more spells, and then I can kind of work around that here. I can't do that yet. Let me put this one here and then use these for... I think I would like to have these infusions soon. These are pretty good. So you know what? Let me use these 4 to actually charge twice here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it should be the Nemesis turn pretty soon. Yeah, there we go. The Nemesis doesn't have any cards yet here, so let's just draw the first card. Actually, what I can do, I can go a little bit more to the right here, like this, and that means I can like put 1 card here. Unleash twice. Any player loses 1 charge. Alright, so I will lose my charge again. And unleash twice. Unleashing always means that the Nemesis gains a Nemesis token, so we have 1 here and another one over here. Alright, so that was that. Okay, that's okay. I can kind of live with that. And then it is the Nemesis turn again. Well, that makes sense. So let's just see. Unleash. So there's another Nemesis token. Oh, okay. So these Nemesis tokens are gained very quickly. Any player resolves the red space closest to the strike token on the wrath tag twice. That's me suffering 4 damage. Oh man. Oh man. Wow. Oof. That is pretty rough. That is pretty rough. I'm already down to 4 health. Okay. I need to like get going like really, really quickly. Okay, right here. I will deal 2 damage. That's good. That's fine. And then let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let me, oh, what do I do? Let me put this one here. Actually, like doing 2 damage again, that's pretty bad. Actually, discarding the most expensive card in hand, that's something I can work with. So let me put that here. And then I'm going to use these 4 to actually, these are all pretty bad. I don't like any of these. Gain 2. I think this one is nice. I will get this one here. Because that one lets me either gain 2 either, or just get 1 and place an electrified token on an enemy. I think that's not too bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh man, this went like south really quickly. I'm not able to heal. I don't have anything here to actually heal, which is pretty bad. I don't like that at all. Alright, so let me deal 2 damage. Right here, and I need to discard the most expensive card in hand, which is this. Oh, which is actually all 0. So what I will do is I will just discard this one here. I will equip that one here and gain another one of these. I need to get a little bit of currency here, right? A little bit of either, and then I will be able to like open all of these and get more spells. Yeah, and also I need to charge up more. I need to do a lot of things, and I don't have a lot of stuff. So here I will deal 2 damage. That's fine. That's a safe zone. Very good. And I need 4 more damage in order to do that here. Okay. So I have 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 here. I have 6 or 5. 5 would also be fine. Because if I have 5, I can open this breach here. So let me use these as 5 in order to open this breach here. And that means that's another damage here. I need to discard a card that costs 3 or more. It's not possible. I don't have any cards in hand anymore. That's good. And also, I will be able to put an electrified token on the enemy because of that 1 card here. Good. Okay, the electrified token, whenever there's a second token on there, I resolve all the tokens. Or if the enemy dies, well, that's not the case here, right? And then I just gain 1 charge. That's not too bad. Alright, is the Nemesis turn? Let me just check here. Power 2. Alright. And then move the strike token back 5 spaces on the Wrath track without resolving effects on the track. If I just gain 3 more damage, this one doesn't matter anymore. Okay, let's see if I can gain 3 damage quickly. So here we would do 3 damage. Yeah, what's the 3 damage I need? So that's fine, and I have another 5 here, right? With the 5, I could open this, but I can also charge up. You know what? Let me charge up here with that. And then I can put another Electrify token on here. And now they both resolve, and I gain 2 charges. I only can use 1 of those, but that's better than nothing. And it's still my main phase, right? So I would actually use all of that. Gain the top infusion card, which is the Mirrored Infusion. Attach this to any player's breach. Any player is also me, right? When a spell is cast from this breach, the player who cast that spell may return it to their hand instead of discarding it. That's good for now. Let me just put this... I will need it later on here for like these strong spells when I get there, but it will take a while until then, so let me put it here for now. Let me just attach it to this breach here, right? Then I know I will just get this one back into my hand. That's not too bad. That's okay, I can live with that. 3, 4, 5. Now let it please be my turn. No, it's not. Remove a power token here, but there's still one there, that's fine. And then let's see here. That's a minion, actually. Alright, so we have the first minion of this game. 7 health, Persistent Unleash, which is bad, or move the strike token back 2 spaces without resolving any effects. That will also happen next time it's the Nemesis turn, which doesn't matter because it's my turn first. So, I do 2 damage because I cast it from a 3 breach, also plus 1 damage, that means 3 damage, so I'm all the way here. So now I move the strike token to 0, and the Wrath suffers 1 damage. Wow, that is a really, really tough enemy. I misjudged how awful these spaces are. Alright, so I will get this back into my hand because of the infusion here. Alright, so let me just reattach it. And also put this one here. And then I have 1, 2, either 4 or 5. Either 4 and an Electrify token or 5. I will need to get some stuff there later, but let me do it like this. Let me let me use 4 and get another infused Galvite. I think that one actually helps me quite a bit. And also I can put an Electrify token. But I could also put it here, right? I can also put it here. Will I defeat this enemy here? I think I will at some point. So let me put the Electrify token here, like this. Alright, let me draw my 5 cards. 3, 4, 5. Also, I will not be able to focus or open any 3 or 4 breaches anymore, so I will just discard this one, put it there. Alright. Oh, once per turn during your main phase, you may discard a card in hand. I forgot about that. And then I could place an elemental token on an enemy. Actually, last round, I used 3 either, but I had another one that I just discarded. So for that one, I will just let me put an Emulate token on here. Yeah, because I want to start destroying cards I don't need anymore. I think that's good. Alright, the Emulate one, if that resolves, I can just destroy a card in hand. That could prove helpful. Okay, so I deal 3 damage here, and I deal 2 damage here. So let me deal these 2 damages to the Nemesis. So it loses 1 Nemesis token. So you see, now I can handle my spells a little bit. And this one here deals 3 damage. I will deal the 3 damage here to this one. Alright, wonderful. I don't have any spells. I need to buy a few. So I have 2, 4, I have 6 or 7. Either 6 and an Electrify token or 7. Let me do it differently. Let me play this one here. I will gain 1 either and also place an Electrify token on here. So now these both resolve. So now these both resolve, right? So first of all, I gain 1 charge. And also I can destroy a card in hand. And I will just destroy one of my cheap crystals, right? So now I have 4 ether. That's not too bad. With these 4 ether, will I get another one of those? No, I don't think so. I think instead I would actually charge up twice more. I want more of these infusions. These are actually pretty good. Okay, that's that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you get some spells very soon. But I don't really have the cash for that at the moment. Alright. This one here is moving the strike token back 5 spaces. That is totally fine. It doesn't go further back. And this one here, move the strike token back 2 spaces. I will do that because it can't go back any further. That is fine. So as long as I'm here, I'm okay. Alright, so then we need a new card. Let's just see. It's an attack. Any player suffers 4 damage and loses 2 charges, and the nemesis loses 1 nemesis token. Oh, that would kill me. Or unleash twice. The player with the most expensive prepped spell discards that spell. I will do that. So we have unleash number 1, and then also unleash number 2. And I will discard a spell, which I don't have. That's fine. But now it's the end of the turn, and there are 4 more nemesis tokens here. So now the nemesis rampages. That means Gravehold suffers 7 damage, which is a lot. And we lose 3 nemesis tokens here, right? And if the nemesis still had 4 nemesis tokens, right? Then it would rampage again. Wow. This one is a tough fight. I'm not doing well. I'm not doing well. Same thing here, I would move the strike token back, which doesn't work. That's good. And here, unleash and discard the top card here, or the player with the lowest life, which is me, suffers 5 damage. No, I can't do that. So we will unleash, put another nemesis token here, and discard the top card here. Okay. Oh man. So, what do I need to do now? I need to get spells, ASAP. I don't have any spells here. I have 2, 4, 6, I could have 7 here. This one deals 4 damage, which is okay. It's not great, but I will take this one for 6. 2, 4, 6 here. I will do that. Let me get this one. I need some spells now, because I'm going to my turn out 3 times in a row. So 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a little bit of time now. Okay, so it's my turn again. We know that. Let me equip a few spells. Let me put this one here and this one there. Actually, I could have taken this one back into my hand. I forgot that last time. And I have 4 either, if I want to use 4 either. I think I want to do that. I want to use 2 at least. Charge up. And then use that here. And take the next effusion card. Iron Effusion. If this is destroyed, deal 5 damage. Wow. Then I would deal 8 plus 5. That's 13 damage. That's almost one entire thing here. And then attach this to any player's breach. When a spell is cast from this breach, Janti gains 1 charge. Ooh, that is great for charging up. Let me put that here. Like this. Actually, let me do it. Let me put them like on top of each other. I think that's easier for me to handle. Like this. Okay. Good. And then I have 2 more or 1 more, depending on what I do. With 2 more, I can charge more. And I think that's good. I think charging is good now. So let me also use this one here in order to charge up 1 more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So it's my turn again, of course. So let's see. Here I do 2 damage. Here I do 3 damage. I could put this all into this one here, right? But I could also 2 and 3. That would even be better. You know what? Let me deal 2 damage here, right? So right here, the nemesis loses 1 token, and then this says that when a spell is cast, I gain 1 charge. But this specific spell also tells me to resolve the effects on this breach a second time, so I get 2 charges. And here I deal 3 damage with this one. So deal 3 damage here, and I get this back into my hand because of that effect. Okay, so this is a more complex mage, right? You need to remember all of these. You need to think of all these effects here. But that's fine. So let me just put that. Actually, this one deals more damage now. It makes sense to have this in my hand every turn. In the long run, I gain more damage with that. So let me do it like this. And then I have 2, 4, I have 6 or 4 or 5, depending on how many electrified tokens I want to use. The electrified tokens are pretty good actually. So I think what I will do is the following. I will use these two here, right, in order to gain one more charge. Then I will use all these charges to gain another infusion. Attaches to any player's breach. When a spell is cast from this breach, the player who cast that spell gains 2 ether. That's not too bad. Let me attach this to here for now. And then I will use another 2 here. I will gain 1 and 2 in order to charge up 1 more. And I can place 2 electrified tokens on an enemy. So let me place both on the Wrath. They now immediately resolve and I gain 2 more charges. Okay, I'm getting places. Okay, I'm still not quite sure whether what I'm doing here is a good strategy. It's like really rough. It's really, really tough. But let's see. The enemy is like, the nemesis is really strong. That is an issue. But now you see I do a bit of damage here. So I now need to get spells. I think I've got enough infusions now. I think I just need spells now. It's the nemesis turn. Of course it is. This one either goes back 2 spaces or unleashes. I think unleashing once is fine. How much damage do I do now? I do 2, 3, 7 damage. 2, 4, 6, 7. That would be perfect. You know what? I will unleash once. Then here, another minion. The Rage Walker. Oh man, that one looks pretty intimidating. So that is 11 health. Unleash, move the strike token back 1 space. Okay. I'm not a fan of this one. Not a fan. Alright, so I do my 7 damage now. This one, I do 4 damage and I get it back into my hand. 2, 4. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. 2, 4. I suffer 1 damage. Oh, that's bad. And I get... No, not 4. Wait. That one does 5 damage. Sorry about that. 5 damage it does. And this one does 2 damage. Exactly. And again 1 charge. 2 damage. Like this. Okay. And then I will equip this one again. It doesn't matter where I equip it actually. Can I open this? You know what? Let me open this breach as well here. With these 4, I will just open this breach like this. And then I will put this one right... This one I will put... But I will still put it right here. Like this. Yeah, I think that's fine. And I will not use the charge thing yet. And then I could... Yeah, I could discard this one to put an elemental token here. And I think I will do that. I will discard this one here, just like that, in order to put an emulate token here. I'm gonna get like my cheap crystals out. I wanna get these out, you know. So now, please, let it be my turn, please. Yes, wonderful. So now I will deal another 5 damage, and I will get this back into my hand. There we go. We move the strike token back, and we did 1 damage here. And then let me think. Okay, let me put this one here and this one here. And I have like between 4 and 6, depending on whether I want to put tokens on here. Electrified token. I don't really want this. So what I'm going to do is I will discard... Deal 2 damage would be pretty nice. I will discard this one here in order to put another elemental token on here. I will put Venom on here. Now these 2 resolve. Venom deals 2 damage and the nemesis loses a token. That is great. And this one lets me destroy a card. I will destroy this crystal. That is good as well. And now let me see. 10. That's perfect. And what I will do now is, I will use all of these tokens here, right? I will use my ability in order to destroy an infusion in play. I will destroy this one here. And that one now deals 8 damage. So that means I'm all the way up here. Alrighty. 4 more damage and we have the nemesis halfway down. So I do have these here. I will use these for the lower ability I will gain 2 ether tokens. I will charge up once with that. And then I will put electrified tokens on any enemy twice. That means I will put 2 on here and they resolve immediately. So I gain 2 charges. That is very complex gameplay here. Man. But it's fun. So I'm now getting into a groove. I only purchased 1 spell so far. But let's see. Maybe maybe I can actually do it that way. I don't know. Oh man, this is like totally messed up what I'm doing here. The nemesis. Alright, this one here is unleashing or moving the strike token back. No. You're not moving the strike token back. You can unleash. That's fine. And this one here unleashes as well and moves the strike token back 1 space. That is okay without resolving the effect. 1 space is fine. And then here, power 2. Unleash twice. And then this is set next to the Wrath track, so we can just set it up there. For the rest of the game, whenever a player resolves a red space in the Wrath track, they resolve that effect an additional time. Ooh, that is horrible. Okay, but the nemesis has gone twice, so it's now my turn twice in a row. That is good. So I deal 2 damage here. That is not good. I deal 5 damage here. That's perfect. I get this back into my hand. 5 damage is exactly there. So down to 3. That's wonderful. And go here. So, and now I'm thinking. I have a few ideas, but let me do that one. That one is 2 damage. I get a charge token. I would get a second one, but I can't do it. And now let me think. Let me equip these spells here. Let me equip this one here and that one here. I will now use this ability here in order to destroy an infusion in play. I will destroy this one here. Because this one, now it deals 8 damage. And this one, if it's destroyed, deals 5 damage. That's 13 damage. So I'm all the way up here again. Amazing. So the nemesis is down. 1 more health. Man, that is okay. It's not looking great. But it's looking pretty good. I still have only 4 health, right? But I have been keeping that kind of in check. So now I would use 4 more of these in order to charge up twice. And I will use this one here to place an electrified token on an enemy. These now resolve. Oh, that was 4 health. So I gain 2 more charges. Like this. So let me do that immediately in order to draw an infusion. Attach this to any player's breach. 2 spells may be prepped to this breach. Okay, let me just attach this here. I can just destroy it for 8 more damage if I want to. That was a long turn, but we did quite a lot of things. So, and it's my turn again, of course. So I hardly have any spells. 2, 4, 6, 7. I could get another spell maybe. So, Fountain of Elm. Yeah, okay. So I deal 5 damage here. 2, 4, 5. That would be perfect. And this one deals 2 damage. 2, 4, 5. Here I would suffer 2 damage. That's pretty bad. I don't really want that, right? I want to do it differently. 2, 4, 5. 2, 4, 6, 8. That's fine. I can work with that. Okay. So let me try a few things. First of all, let me cast this one. That one deals 5 damage. 2, 4, 5. Loses 1 nemesis token. The 2 here I don't want to do. Oh, I get this back into my hand, by the way. So I can equip it immediately again. So let me see here. 2, 4, 5, 6. That's 7. That is not enough. That is not enough. Let me clear up my hand a little bit. I will not cast this round. 5. I will not do that. Instead, I will discard a card, which I can do here in order to put an elemental token on here. I will put emulate here again. Then I will use 1 ether in order to put an electrified token on here as well. So I gain 1 charge. And also I can destroy a card in hand. So I will take one of the cheap crystals here. That's good. And then I have 3 more that I can use, which I will do in order to use these 4 to power up twice again. Okay, I'm getting places. My deck is getting quite thin, which is good. Okay, because I need to like really cycle through my deck quickly now, because I don't have much time anymore. But I'm doing well. I just need to get to this track one more time, and then it's looking good. Oh no, that's bad. All right, so either unleash or move the strike token back twice. Actually, well, I will also have to move it back here once at least, right? I can deal 2 damage here and then 5 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, yeah, I can work with that. So then let me do it like this. Let me here, I will just unleash, right? Because Gravehold is still doing okay, kind of. Then here I need to unleash again and move it back 1 space without resolving it. Here we remove that and we draw a new card. Unleash twice. Oh man, this is pretty bad. So let me just get 2 nemesis tokens here. I didn't have them ready because I didn't think I would need that many. The players collectively discard 3 prepped spells, and that is horrible. That is horrible. That is pretty bad. Okay, it's the end of the turn. The nemesis loses 3 tokens and deals 7 damage here, so down to 16. We lose when Gravehold is down to 0. Alright, it's our turn. Well, I don't have anything to cast now. That is pretty bad. Okay, I have 1 spell here. Let me put that one there. 2, 4, 6, 8. That could work. If it's not the the nemesis turn next round. But you know what? Let me do it like this. Let me do 2 here. No, well, actually, that doesn't make sense. I will discard 1 in order to put a token on here. Then I will use 1 here to put an electrified token on here. So I gain 1 charge. And also I can destroy a card in hand, another crystal. That's fine. And also I will use that in order to destroy this infusion here. Because that one is good, but it's not perfect, in order to deal 8 damage. 2, 4, 6, 8. And 1 nemesis token is gone. Okay, that's not too bad. And now I still have 2 either left. I will charge up 1 more time. Okay. It's getting rough. It's really getting rough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would like it to be my turn, because then I could just finish that off here. It is. That's perfect. I deal 2 damage here. Up here. So we're back to 0 and here down to 1. Alright. I think we can do it. This is another 8 damage potentially. I have 1 spell here. Let me put that spell here. I don't know if I will destroy that yet. And here I would have a few things. So let me use these 1 and 1 in order to put 2 electrified tokens on there that resolve immediately to get 2 more charges. And with these 2 that I have left, I will gain 1 more charge. And then I will use that to just get another one of these infusions. Attaches to any player's breach. When a spell is cast from this breach, the player who cast that spell may destroy a card in hand. Yeah, it's pretty much just for finishing off the Wrath, hopefully. And with these 2, I will charge up 1 more time. This, I think I've never had a game where I only got 1 spell, only 2 of these, 2 gems, I think, right? And just charged up. That's all I did. That's pretty crazy. But this is like the beauty of Aeon's End, right? Depending on the combination of the market cards, the nemesis, and the mages, this game just works differently every time. But now we are doing okay. Gravehold can still be attacked twice and still live. So let's see whose turn it is. It is the nemesis turn. That means here I will move the strike token back, which doesn't do anything. And here I will unleash and also move the strike token back. Okay. This one here, now unleash twice, which is pretty bad. And now set this next to the Wrath track. So let me just put this up here. And now whenever we resolve a red space, we resolve that twice. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We can get there. We can do it. We can do it. Alright, let's draw a card. Let's hope it's not too bad. It's a minion. It's a minion with 6 health and 2 shields. As a little refresher, shields just mean that whenever I attack this minion, no matter how much damage I do, I only remove one shield, and then I do it the second time, and then I can attack the enemy for real, right? So yeah, not too easy, but I can work around that. So now it's gonna be my turn twice in a row. If I do it cleverly, I might be able to win now. Let's see. So first, this one here deals 5 damage. 2, 4, 5. Oh, no, wait. Before I do that, at the end of the nemesis turn, I need to discard these in order to do 7 more damage. So down to 9. It's getting close. It's getting really close. So now it's my turn. And now I deal 5 damage. And I take this back into my hand. So 2, 4, 5 damage. 1 nemesis token is removed. That buys me a little bit of time. So now I need to like put all the stuff here. I will put this here. And actually I don't need to take this back into my hand. So I can maximize my damage by doing it like this. And I have these here. Okay. So what I can do... I don't... do I want to do that? I want to charge up quickly. Yeah. So I will discard 1 card, like with my treasure here, in order to put an elemental token on here. And then I will use these here, 1 and 1, and also put an electrify token on here. These resolve. I get 2 charges. And then I will use these 2 either I have left to charge up 1 more time. If I use that now, I do 8 damage. 2, 4, 6, 8. That would be okay, actually. So I will do that. I will do all of these in order to destroy this infusion to do 8 damage all the way up here. And I need to discard 2 cards in hand twice, which I can't because I don't have any cards in hand. I used them all before. So that was good. That was really good. See, like how small my deck is by now. I have 10 cards, just like at the very beginning, right? I just exchanged them for better ones. And now it's my turn again. And I win, right? Because I can do like lots of damage to move the strike token here. I just need 1 damage in order to defeat the nemesis. But wow, that was close. That was so close. Oh man, this was an exciting fight. This is a great nemesis. This one is amazing. This one really puts so much pressure on you. Like at the beginning, you can't really time this here, right? Because at the beginning, you only do 1 damage every time. I was lucky that I was able to do like 2 damage quite early, because I opened these very early, but that's because of Janti, right? That's because like these breaches were quite cheap to open. So I was able to do that like very quickly, which is nice. Not bad. Really not bad. Yeah. Well, we have defeated the Wrath, and with that we have finished the expedition. A few more things before we end this game. First of all, we will now read the end of the story. Then we will check out like the last cards we unlocked. I pretty much like know what's going to be in there, but it's going to be interesting for you to see. And then we can end the video. Feel free to jump to the part you're interested in the most with the timestamps in the description. So let's continue the story here. Battle for conclusion. Yeah, it's just a little bit more than 1 page, so that is fine. Battle for conclusion. Brahma falls to her knees, exhausted but triumphant as the monster runs off down a tunnel, screeching in pain and fear. She has no doubt in her mind that it will return some day, after it has nursed its wounds, but they will be ready for it. The people of Gravehold will have trained, reinforced the walls, learned how to defend themselves. This is their city now. They've bled for it. They'll build it. Well, actually, then I was right. The Wrath will be the Rageborn later on. It will come back in Aeon's End 1, in the very first installment. For Thraxir! Lazen cheers heartily, bounding up to Brahma out of the shadows of the cave. Behind her, Brahma can hear an answering celebration from Adelheim and Mazahedron on top of the tower. The fire still burns, lighting the streets of Gravehold for good this time. There was some fight, Brahma agrees, gratefully taking Lazen's hand as she helps her to her feet. I wasn't sure we'd be able to succeed. We had no other choice, Raven says, stepping into the glow of the firelight. We had to keep the people we love safe. The people we love. Where's Janti? Brahma asks, peering into the oppressive darkness still consuming the edges of the cave. Did anyone see where she was on her flank? I believe she was the farthest in, Lazen says, gesturing out in the darkness. She should be back by now, though. Janti? Brahma pulls a ball of light from a still open breach and ventures out into the darkness, casting around for where Janti might have gotten to. The battle is over. Where are you? There's no response from the darkness around her. Brahma walks further, leaving the happy chatter of Lisa and Raven behind as she picks her way carefully across the treacherous cavern. Loose rocks shift beneath her feet, and stalagmites rear up, black and fearsome in the light of her magic. Her legs still feel weak beneath her, the cuts across her skin from battle still oozing blood. Silent minutes stretch in the darkness, making it seem as though hours have passed before Brahma finds her. Janti is stretched out on the ground, hands pressed into her stomach, trying to hold back the thick blood pooling out around her. Her face is pale, forehead bright with sweat that reflects the light as Brahma drops to her knees beside her. "Hey there, Brahms," Janti says with a weak grin. "Looks like we won." "Don't speak." Brahma lays her hands over Janti's, applying pressure to the stomach wound. Her skin is already so cold. "I'll get you to Dalana. It's going to be okay." "Nah." Janti's voice trades off into the coughing fit, blood speckling her teeth. "I think it's too late for that. I'm not going to make it back to Gravehold." "Don't say that," Brahma whispers, tears swimming in her eyes. "I can save you." "Being a leader means not being able to save everyone." "I'm not a leader." Brahma squeezes Janti's hands, leaning over her as she begins to sob. All the stress and terror of their journey she didn't want to show in front of her people suddenly pouring out. "I failed you. I failed Thraxir. I made all the wrong decisions. If I'd let Dalana come like she wanted, she could heal you. Or if I'd just done your plan, we could have waited until we were ready and you wouldn't... Brahma." Janti lifts her hands to gently cup Brahma's face. "You are a leader. You made a plan. You kept Gravehold safe. You kept everyone safe." "Not you," Brahma sniffles, struggling to get the words out. "It was meant to be you and me. What's the point without you?" "The point is Sana, and Raven's baby girl, Phyrexia, Adelheim. These are your people, your city, your dream." Janti smiles. "I've always loved hearing your dreams. Now you get to live one. You get to make a city for these children to grow up in. You get to have a real home." "I can't imagine a home without you in it." "I'll always be with you," Janti promises. "Always." Brahma leans in and kisses her, as if she could press some of her heat into Janti's cold and shaking lips, and as if she could keep her here by sheer force of will. But the moment passes, and with a final breath, Janti's hands go limp beneath Brahma's. Brahma sits back up, tears still tracking through the dirt on her cheeks. She lifts her shaking hands, sticky with Janti's blood, and pulls Janti's sister necklaces over her head. She kisses each bead, whispering prayers. For strength, for guidance, for protection, and then she slips them over her own head, letting them rest against her chest. "I will protect everyone," Brahma promises the air, hoping that somewhere Janti can hear her. "I will protect Gravehold and keep it safe. I will be a great leader, and I will do whatever it takes to preserve this home we make." Brahma lifts Janti's staff from where it lies, discarded beside her. The wood is still warm. She sets it on the ground and leans against it, pushing herself to her feet. It steadies her weak and shaking legs. Behind her, she can feel the warmth of the fire glowing above Gravehold, guiding her home. There's much work to be done. Oh, wow. I will say a few things about that. Right after we open the last pack of cards, I want to say a few things about that, which might be quite valuable to you, just because I have played all Aeon's End games. I have played all the campaigns, and it's like one large story, spanning all the games, right? And it's great how this comes full circle here. I will say a few things about that in just a moment. So, let's see here. So what we have unlocked now we don't unlock any new cards, right? There are still cards in the expansions that we can add to the game in case you have those expansions, right? But what we have here is the randomizers for all the cards that we have unlocked during the campaign here, right? So for example, you see the infused galvite here, right? These randomizers are used for future expeditions. Now you take all of this stuff and you mix it together with everything else you have for Aeon's End, and then you also take these randomizers, and then you can randomize future expeditions. Always 4 battles, 4 different nemeses, and a mage that you choose for the entire expedition, and different market cards, right? And these are the market cards, the randomizers for that, and with all the cards that we have seen during this campaign here. You also have the randomizers here for the different mages that we have in here. Right, so I think it's 6 mages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 mages plus the ones for the expansions. There's another 3 or 4, I think. Then here we have like the bosses we fought, the Infected, the Coven, the Blight, and the Wrath. If you only have this base version, these are the only these four nemesis you will always fight in this order, right? If you do another expedition. But if you have the expansions, there are more. I think 2 more nemesis to exchange here. And then of course if you have like more in the collection, even more, right? I have like the entire collection, like everything Aeon's End. And like I have like 60 or whatever bosses, right? Like it's like crazy. Then here we have the randomizers for the 4 friends and for the 4 foes, plus more for the expansions if you have those, right? These are all the randomizers you have. You can also sleeve those if you want to, and then you have like everything to randomize, which is pretty cool, right? So, and this is like the end of the video almost. I want to say a few things about this version of Aeon's End. I think I can like give you like a mini review immediately because I do know Aeon's End very well, and I can like give like a pretty good like impression of what I've played here immediately. So I like this version of Aeon's End a lot, and that's for a few reasons. First of all, the friend and foe mechanism, although I only have used that one in the first battle, is a very cool mechanism. It is not, I think you're not meant to play with those like every time. You use the friends if you want to make it easier, you use the foes if you want to make the game harder, and it's great that there are more difficulty options for Aeon's End now. There are a lot of difficulty options. You always have the increased difficulty here for the nemesis, you can make it harder with that. Now you can also use the friends and foes, and there is like one card in one of the Aeon's End editions, I think it's the Legacy of Gravehold, like this Blitz card that you exchange for one of the nemesis cards here, in order to make the nemesis even harder, right? So, but now, there were always like ways to make it harder, but never ways to make it easier. Now there is, with the friend module. And I think I like that a lot. I think that's really good. I also like the new elemental tokens here. I don't think that Aeon's End actually needed those, right? I think Aeon's End has enough variety as it is, enough tokens as it is. This is not necessary at all, but I like it. I think it's just a good variation, right? If you have the entire collection and you want to play with different mages and different nemesis, it's nice to have these as well. These are not bound to cards as far as I know, right? Oh, they actually are. There are some cards that actually use these, of course. So yeah, it's quite cool. They are quite nice. I think I would have liked these more as some kind of debuff. You know what I mean? If like Venom means like this enemy, like every time the enemy is activated, the enemy loses 1 health, for example, right? Something like this I would have liked more than just stacking tokens and then resolving them by stacking them, right? I like the emulate a lot. That's pretty cool. That's very, very helpful, right? Because you don't have a lot of ways to remove cards from your deck, so that is nice to have. Gaining 1 charge, electrify, makes sense. That's cool. Like the Venom, I would have changed instead of dealing just 2 damage straight. When you do that, I think I would have liked this to be like a lingering effect. I think that would have been cool. You could have made it double-sided, deal 2 damage first time, then 1 damage, and then you remove it maybe. Something like that, right? I think that would have been like cooler ways to use these. So I hope that now that they introduced anyway, that future Aeon's End versions will also like add more elemental tokens and make them a little bit better, right? To make them more interesting. These are okay. These are nice proof of concept, but I think they could have done more with that. But all in all, I like the idea of them. It's cool that Aeon's End has them now. About the mages and the nemesis, I haven't played all the mages. There are still 2 I haven't played. No, 2 or 3. I think 2. There are 2 I haven't played yet. And also, of course, there are the expansion ones. But I have played almost all of them during this expedition now, and I like them. I think the mages are very interesting. Mages are always like the weaker point of Aeon's End. They are all interesting somewhat, but some of them are a little bit generic because the focus lies on the bosses, right? And this is where this expansion, this version of Aeon's End really shines. Like the 3rd boss, I don't know how it was called, the Blight. That one was a little bit boring. That one was just a very, very stale, right? But all the other 3 bosses are great, and this one is amazing, the Wrath one. This one, I can't wait to fight it again. This one's horrible, especially since you can make everything harder, and then you can even make it even harder here. So it's like crazy, right? This one looks pretty bad. Even the white ones now have bad stuff. Yeah, very, 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 very cool. I like these a lot. The market cards, all in all, they're really cool. There are some really, really great ones in here. For example, that one rod thing I used the last 2 games. That was really cool. Also, I like some other ones that they are working with the develop mechanism. I like that a lot as well. So yeah, market cards were good. The mages were good. The nemeses were great, but for one. And also I like the new modules here. So all in all, this is a really, really good version of Aeon's End. I still think that New Age is the best way to get into the series. If you don't own the series, New Age I think is the best one because it explains expeditions. It introduces the expeditions and also the mages, nemeses, and market cards were really good in that version. And after that, either I would go for Outcasts or this one here. I think I would go for Outcasts first. Outcasts is my absolute favorite box. I think it has the best mages, the best nemeses, the best market cards. I think it's all the best. And then if you need a third one, then I would maybe take this one here, right? Because this one is very good. I like this much more than the last Outing, the Past and Future one. Past and Future was only an expansion. You can't play it standalone. I think that was a pretty weak point. I don't know why they did that. And also, the mages and nemesis in that version were not bad, but they also weren't amazing, all of them, right? So this one is a much better Outing again. Last thing I want to say is the story. The story is amazing. This is the best story in Aeon's End so far, I think, because it wraps up the entire story, right? Because we go back to the beginning and we learn how was Gravehold to be, right? How was Gravehold at the beginning? How did it come to be? How did they actually get into Gravehold? How did they build it up? And you see that here. And all the characters, almost all the characters you see here that are very young, that are the future of Gravehold, these are all characters you play in the very first installment. I love that. Really nice attention to detail, and I got a little bit emotional here, right? That was the first time I got a little bit emotional because I've been playing Aeon's End for years and I know the entire story. I know almost all the characters, especially the main ones, right? That drive forward the story and stuff. And it was really nice to see how Brahma became to be a leader. Because in the first Aeon's End she is. How Adelheim grew up kind of, right? I actually would like to see more of that. So I think Aeon's End has so much content, I think it's fine now. I think it's enough. Because I don't even know whether I will... I probably will. Who am I kidding? I probably will buy more Aeon's End stuff in the future. Because I'm just too deep into this series, right? But I think Aeon's End should wrap it up now. And I think the best version, the best idea of doing that would be to do a follow-up to the Descent now, to kind of explain okay, they're in Gravehold now, but how did Adelheim and all of the younger guys, how did they grow up? They can recycle the characters again there, sure. How did they grow up and how did they make Gravehold into what it is at the end when Brahma is an old woman, an elderly woman and a leader, right? This is the story to develop that a little bit further and also release a big box with that, right? Because currently I have two large legacy boxes and a suitcase, seriously, and a briefcase for everything. And I think this should all still kind of fit, but then it's getting a little bit rough. So release one more version of Aeon's End where they wrap up the story so that we have then we have this circle kind of, right? That we have everything concluded and release a big box with that. Please, a big box where everything fits, including promos and everything sleeved. Please do that. And if you do that, I will buy that day one. That would be what I would really be hoping for this series. Because why do you need 15 or 20 seasons at some point, right? You don't need that. We have 8. This is wave 8, I think, right? Is it 9? No, I think it's 8. Just do one more, and then I think we're all happy. I mean, Aeon's End can be revisited in the future, right? To just have maybe mini expansions, you know? Mini promos and whatever that still fit in the big box. That would be amazing. So Indie Boards and Cards, if you have watched this video until the very end, until now, first of all, thank you. Thank you for an amazing game. Thank you for also liking and sharing my videos. But also keep in mind what I'm saying here. Maybe you like my idea. And I think I'm not the only one saying that. A lot of people have been saying that they want the big box. And I think a lot of people are done with Aeon's End. Not playing it, but actually collecting more stuff. I think it's cool the way it is now. I think it's perfect. I'm just afraid that adding more and more will just water down the experience. And that would be a shame because this is one of my most favorite games ever. And my most favorite solo game at that. So yeah, a lot of rambling here, but just wanted to let you know what I think here because it kind of feels like almost the end for Aeon's End, right? It almost feels like it. And that is kind of a sad feeling, but also a good feeling to know, well, this game will persist. It will be here. We will be able to play it for a long, long time. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching and sticking to the very end. I really hope you enjoyed this series. Also, I want to thank you so much for your continued support. Especially I want to give a shout out to my generous patrons. And the big thanks go out to Thargono, who's supporting me at the highest tier. Thank you so much. That really helps me develop the channel even further. You can support me in numerous ways by watching, liking and commenting on my videos, subscribing to my channel, supporting me on Patreon and joining my Discord server to hang out with me and my amazing community. Well, thank you so much for watching and I will see you in the very next video. Take care everyone, stay safe and cheers. Whew. Well, that's a wrap.